Our first stop takes us to one of the most extraordinary places on the planet, Cappadocia, Turkey. Volcanic and unique erosions created what they call fairy chimneys. The early Christians would live or hide in these peculiar rock formations to escape persecution. They carved out homes and churches in order to be free to worship God. I'm told people still live in them today. Turkey is rich in biblical significance and history. Hi, I'm Stephanie Riggs with Divine Calling. In Laodicea, Turkey, home of the oldest cathedral on the earth. This was built in 320 AD. Turkey has a rich history in Christianity. The 7 churches in the book of Revelation are all here, and this is the place where the Apostle Paul spent most of his time. Today, Turkey remains the largest unreached portion of the world. Of the almost 80 million Muslims here, few have heard the gospel, which is why it is so important to be here and to pray for Turkey. Laodicea represents the lukewarm church. Paul said, "I know your works, and you're neither hot or cold." It's the backslidden church. Revelation 3:21, "To him who overcomes, I give the right to sit with me on my throne." In Revelation 3:12, this is where Paul said to the church of Philadelphia, "Him who overcomes, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will he leave it." That's a special promise for a special church. Philadelphia is the church of brotherly love. Smyrna comes from the word crush. The enemy could overcome them for 200 years. They faced terrible persecution, lots of deaths, tough, brutal times. You will have to overcome, but for those who held to the promise, Revelation 2:12, to the church of Smyrna, he who overcomes will not be hurt at all by the second death. Your knowledge of the Bible can't help but soar to new heights as you see firsthand these very places talked about in the victorious end of the Bible. Hi, I'm Stephanie Riggs in beautiful, stunning Ephesus, Turkey. We are in the very theater where the crowds worshiped the idol Diana and demanded Paul's death. Isn't it powerful to think no one remembers much about Diana, but Paul's words spoken right here and recorded in the book of Ephesians still live on 2,000 years later and continue to bless us today. This is where the first 100 years of Christianity came alive, the Church of Ephesus. In Ephesus, their children and grandchildren took faith for granted. Jesus wasn't fresh to these children, so Paul taught the younger generation that they would have to overcome. Revelation 2:7, "To him who overcomes, I will give the right to eat from the tree of life." Pergamum means to be married. This is really the church of compromise. For 200 years, the Romans even said, "Let's leave them alone and let it go." This church entered into compromising times. To the church of Pergamum, "To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna and a white stone with a new name." Revelation 2:17. Isaiah 61:4 tells us they will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. Without historical context, though, all of this just appears to be old columns scattered all around. But if these columns could talk, what a story they would tell. We all have a story to tell. All of our lives and all of our brokenness and all of the fragmentation. God wants to put it all back together and restore it. He doesn't want any of us to miss His unshakable plan.
Let's welcome, with a warm Istanbul welcome, Dr. Marilyn Hickey.
So God has brought us together for such a time as this.
God gives grace to the humble. When you humble yourself, surrender, and say, "God, I really need you," that's when your life changes.
Jesus has
Sol
opened her
kulağında.
ear.
Ama İsa kulaklarını açtı.
The ringing is gone,
Kulağındaki çınlama durdu.
and the hearing aid is out, and she can hear.
Kim iyileştirdi diye sordum.
It is that faith that moved me to extend my faith and hand to hurting people who want more of Him during our stay in Turkey. The pain in Turkey is no different than the pain in the United States. We were all created to need more of Him, less of us. I thank God for this extraordinary opportunity to explore and experience all that Turkey has to offer. The handmade pottery, the Turkish rugs that can take up to a year to complete, and the mouth-watering meals. But what I will remember most about this trip are the Turkish people. They opened their hands to strangers and gave their hearts to Christ.